Alright, what's up everyone? Here with Everyday Hoops. Today is going to be the trade deadline episode. The NBA trade deadline was today. It has passed. It's been about almost 5 hours since all the trades have gone down, and what a wild day. What a wild last 2 days, really, it has been. So much has happened. So many teams look different, have a new perspective on them. And we're going to break down every single trade that happened today. And yeah, it's gonna be a long one. It's gonna be a good one. So let's get right into it. We're starting off back to yesterday. We're gonna go from yesterday to the last deal, the deadline. So yesterday, the first trade that was made was a big three-teamer that was talked about. It was materializing throughout the last few hours, and now it finally came into fruition. It was a three-teamer between the LA Lakers, Utah Jazz, and Minnesota Timberwolves. The trade was the LA Lakers getting D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt. The Utah Jazz got Russell Westbrook, Juan Toscano Anderson, Damian Jones, and a 2027 first-round pick from the Lakers that is top 4 protected. And the Minnesota Timberwolves get Mike Conley, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, a 2024 second-round pick that is the lesser of either Memphis or Washington, a 2025 second from Utah, and a 2026 second from Utah. It was a huge trade, and we're going to talk about it from every team's perspective. First, from the Lakers' perspective, this is a huge win for the Lakers. They get to give up Russell Westbrook, who came out that there's a lot of tension between him and the coaching staff, and it was just a really tense vibe between those two. So that was a big reason why Russell Westbrook moved on as quick as he did. But for the Lakers to only give up Westbrook, two players that don't really play, Juan Toscano Anderson and Damian Jones, are just bench warmers at this point, and only one first-round pick, the 2027, 2029 picks, want to give up one of those to get back three very good quality players is a huge win. It's a huge win for the Lakers, and this roster kind of flipped upside down a little bit. Going now, D'Angelo Russell, now a starting point guard, going back to LA, gets another chance in LA. His first time with the Lakers was very weird. It was the end of the Kobe era, and then the whole Nick Young situation happened, and it was just a lot. It was just a lot. So now he gets to come back to LA with LeBron and AD. They kind of help them. I think this is very good for the Lakers because so he started off the year not so good, but as of recently, he's starting to turn up the last month. And he's a guy that can be explosive, go off for about 25, 30 points, get you 8, 9 assists, he hits big shots, he comes to play in the fourth quarter, big pickup for the Lakers. And then on top of that, you get Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt. Two very good role players. Malik Beasley, a sniper from three-point range. He's going to take a lot of threes. And that's something that the Lakers don't have. Lakers don't have dudes that hit threes. So they get that. And then they also get Jared Vanderbilt. A very good, kind of more of a hustle, energy type dude. Grab rebounds on the offense and defensive end, guard on the perimeter, get steals and blocks, dive for loose balls. He's one of those type of players that I don't think the Lakers have again. So yeah, this was a huge win for the Lakers in this trade. For Minnesota, I like this from Minnesota's view as well. There's a lot of trade chatter the last year or two about D'Angelo Russell and if he's gonna still be in Minnesota and all this stuff. And now they get Mike Conley, I feel like Mike Conley's a guy that the Timberwolves don't have. They kind of need. The Timberwolves, when you look at their roster, they don't have a veteran presence on their team. The Wolves don't have veteran players that are respected. And I feel like this is a good look for Minnesota. They get a guy that can kind of help out the younger players, help out and Karl Anthony Towns, and be kind of a mentor while also being their starting point guard, I would assume. get everyone else open looks. And also for Rudy, it'd help Rudy a lot. They used to play together in Utah, so Mike Conley gets to go back with his former teammate. Maybe it'll help Rudy out, get him some easy looks. And yeah, I like this for Minnesota. For the Jazz, I'm honestly a little disappointed that the Jazz couldn't get more. Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt were two kind of sought after role players. The Knicks had some attention on these two guys. Separate teams had interest in Malik Beasley and Vanderbilt. I heard the Sixers and Blazers or Pacers are interested in Vanderbilt. A lot of teams like the Hawks were interested in Malik Beasley. And to only get really a first round pick, one first round pick, which is still good, because Russell Westbrook is going to get bought out. And then Walter Scott Anderson and Damian Jones, if I had to put money on it, probably won't play a lot and be prioritized in Utah. So yeah, to turn those three very quality players that each separately could have got something solid. I'm not saying they were going to go out and get 4 first round picks, but they could have got something better, I feel like. But they have a lot of money in this upcoming free agency. I don't know how they're going to use it, because I don't know about if a star is coming to Utah, and there's not even any stars in this free agency market. But I guess they cleared up some money, and they also have, I think they said 15 picks for the next few years because of the Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell trade. So yeah, just add one more onto that, I guess. But yeah, a little disappointed in Utah. I think the Lakers are the big winner of this trade. Again, they get 3 very good players that can really, really help this team. And this team, we're going to talk more about the Lakers later because they made a few more trades. But I really like this for the Lakers. This is a huge trade they needed to pull off. Everyone was going after Rob Pelinka after not making the Kyrie deal. But he makes up for it with this deal here. This is a great deal for LA. The next trade happened a little while after the big 3-teamer. It was between the Knicks and the Blazers. It was the Blazers sending Josh Hart to the Knicks for Cam Reddish, Ryan Arcidiacono, Svi Mikhailuk, and a 2023 first-round pick, lottery protected. But if it doesn't convey, I think it turns into 4 second-round picks. So for the Knicks side, I love it for the Knicks side. They get Josh Hart, a Tom Thibodeau guy. Josh Hart's a Tom Thibodeau guy. He's a wing that, any playoff team can use, a Josh Hart. The big thing about him is that he gives it all in the court. He gives it 110%. Goes for every. He's an amazing rebounder. At like 6'4", he averages like 8 rebounds a game. He's gonna give you all energy, all hustle, and he's a player you would love to have on your favorite team. And I think the Knicks are gonna love Josh Hart. Top Thibodeau's gonna love Josh Hart. Josh Hart's gonna get a lot of playing time over there in New York. They also get rid of Cam Reddish, who they've been wanting to get rid of as soon as he got there, it feels like. So they got rid of him to get something very valuable for them in return. And for the Blazers, I guess, there's a lot of trade chatter about Josh Hart the last few days. He's going to be, his contract was up after this season, so the Blazers, I guess, wanted to get something for him. And they get to take a chance on Cam Reddish. We're all wondering where Cam Reddish was going to go, who was going to be the team that was going to take the chance on him, and it was Portland, I guess. And yeah, I'm really ready to see Cam Reddish play, man. He's definitely going to get a lot of time in Portland. Who's really taking his minutes away now? Like Nasir Little, Nasir Little's been solid, but I feel like Cam Reddish he's got to get a lot of playing time over there. I'm not saying like he's going to play 40 minutes, but he's going to get some good run over there, and hopefully he can show something for Portland. And yeah, and they also get a first-round lottery protected pick that's probably going to convey, because the Knicks are probably most likely making the playoffs. So the Blazers will probably get another first-round pick. But yeah, the Knicks, would love this trade for the Knicks. Portland, it's alright, I would guess. But I think the Knicks definitely won this trade for now. Of course, every time I say win this trade or lost this trade, this is just for now. At the end of the year, this could be completely different, but I'm just saying right now perspective, because it's the only thing we can really base it off. The next trade happened later in the night. It was between the Raptors and Spurs. It was the Spurs trading Jakob Poeltl back to Toronto for Khem Birch, a 2024 first-round pick, top 6 protected, a 2023 second, and a 2025 second. Jakob Poeltl goes back to where he started. Raptors drafted him in the top 10 back in 2017. He played his first few years there, and then he was in the Kawhi Leonard trade. Him and DeMar DeRozan went to San Antonio for Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green. Of course, the Raptors won a championship then. Now Jakob Poeltl, a few years later, gets to go back to Toronto. Surprising move that the Raptors did. I feel like the whole trade deadline, everyone was kind of looking at Toronto. You kind of be like, all right, what are you guys gonna do? And I think clear, like the day before, well, technically the day of, because it was like on the East Coast. Apparently, it was after midnight, but they went out and they made their move. They were like, hey, you know what? I think we can still put something together here. We just jumped up to 10th. We're in the play-in now. Let's go buy. And they bought Jakob Poeltl. And it kind of sent a message to everyone else like, hey, we're not just going to blow this thing up. We're buying. And so, solid trade for the Raptors, too. Especially, they don't have to give up. Khem Birch didn't even play anymore. 2024 first, top 6 protected. That can go one of two ways. Of course. That could be pretty solid for them. And it could turn into like the 12th pick, which would be okay. But, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. With the 2023 second, 2025 second, yeah. For the Spurs, there were reports came out that another deal was brought to them from the Boston Celtics. The Celtics were offering Danilo Gallinari, Payne Pritchard, and multiple picks. I don't know if they're first or seconds or anything, but the Spurs declined that offer and went with the Raptors piece. I think what might have put over the edge was that 2024 first, the top 6 protected first, because who knows what the Raptors are going to be like next year. 2024, that's 2 years from now. Actually, so who knows what the Raptors are going to be in 2 years. They could be back in a playoff team, or they could have traded everybody by then. And we don't know. So I guess the Spurs saw that, and they're like, you know what? That could be a number 8 overall pick right there for us. So I think the Spurs is solid. I think the Spurs maybe could have got something better. Maybe a tiny bit more, but then again, it's not like a team was giving up 2 or 3 first-round picks for Jakob Poeltl. So I guess the Spurs made out solid in this trade, and the Raptors, they finally get a center. Now I'm wondering what this lineup is going to be. Because they kept everybody at the trade deadline. So what is this lineup going to be? Is Jakob Poeltl coming off the bench? Or one of the wings going to the bench, like OG? Or Scotty going to the bench now? Or is Jakob Poeltl coming off the bench? I would assume Jakob is coming off the bench. But then again, I don't know. Maybe Gary Trent. They were bringing Gary Trent off the bench once he came back from injury a little while ago. So maybe Gary Trent becomes the 6th man, and they run really big with OG at the 2. I guess Scotty at the 3, Pascal and Poeltl. I would kind of like Gary Trent in that lineup, I guess. I don't know. We got to see how it plays out. But yeah, solid move from the Raptors. Good move from San Antonio to get a first. That could actually be something. Now we're going to see what happens to him in free agency. The Raptors going to re-sign him or not, depending on what direction they go into. The next trade is the biggest one of the trade deadline. It happened very randomly in the middle of the night. We all went to bed, or we're all about to go to bed, and then all of a sudden, Shams says, "You know what? Nope. You guys don't need sleep. Do this right now." It was shocking. It was maybe a little bit confusing to some people. It was a lot of different emotions in this trade. And it is the biggest trade of the year. That really kind of came out of nowhere. The Brooklyn Nets traded Kevin Durant to the Phoenix Suns. Kevin Durant is a Phoenix Sun. That is very weird to say. But it happened. KD finally gets to Phoenix. You remember in the offseason, before the season started, when Kevin Durant requested a trade, the Suns were one of the top teams in the running for Durant. But again, you guys know it didn't happen. The Nets held on to Durant throughout the year. It was going really good. Then Kyrie requested the trade. Then after Kyrie gets traded to Dallas, everyone kind of looking at the Nets and looking at Kevin Durant like, hey, so what's going on over there? The Nets were still trying to build a contender around Kevin Durant, was why they made the Kyrie deal to Dallas. because they thought it would the best. It was the best package for them to still keep in contention, and the direction for them at the trade deadline before this was to try and still build a contender around Kevin Durant. They were still looking at trades, maybe trying to flip Dinwiddie and those picks they got to get something, maybe a Fred VanVleet, and still trying to build around KD. And even it says some teams, the Nets were calling around trying to find anything to help the Nets and KD. But it came out yesterday that the teams were very hesitant on trying to trade with the Nets because of the whole KD situation. They didn't know what was going down. They didn't want to give up something valuable, all for Kevin Durant to say, no, I'm gone. But apparently, teams were right to hold off because Kevin Durant got traded. So the full deal is the Nets trading Kevin Durant and TJ Warren to the Phoenix Suns. The Nets get back Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, a 2023 first round pick, 2025 first round pick, 2027 first round pick, 2029 first round pick, and a 2028 pick swap. And by the way, those 4 first round picks are unprotected. The Suns are going all in on this trade. Now the Suns earlier this week just got a new owner, man, Ishiba, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Was the new owner of the Phoenix Suns. He was just officially named the owner earlier this week. Yeah, what a way to start off a tenure. Came in and 2 days later was like, all right, we're trading for Kevin Durant. What a way to put your mark, leave a mark on this team. Step in the office and be like, hey, go get Kevin Durant. But yeah, this was an insane trade. Let's talk about it from the Suns' perspective first. Just wow. I mean, not having to give up DeAndre Ayton, which I don't think they could because DeAndre Ayton is on a rookie extension, and teams can't have 2 players on rookie extension on the same team. So Ben Simmons and DeAndre Ayton couldn't play on the same team together. But the Nets not having to give up DeAndre Ayton, and having to give up Bridges, who might hurt a little bit. Of course, Mikal Bridges, I feel like it more hurt emotionally because Mikal Bridges was the team. The Suns got him in a draft day trade with the Sixers, built him up. He loved Phoenix. Phoenix loved him. He was the Iron Man. He never missed a game for them. And all of a sudden, he gets thrown over to Brooklyn. Cam Johnson, who probably was gonna maybe be on another new team anyway by the start of next year, because he's up for a contract after this season. Cause he's a restricted free agent. So we'll see what happens there. And then Jay Crowder, of course, we knew he wanted to get traded. He was gonna get traded. So the Suns threw him over in this deal. But for them to only give up really that, which seems like a lot. It seems like a lot. But when you really think about it, is it really a lot? Is it really a lot for Kevin Durant? I mean, Mikal Bridges is very good. Very good. But right now, he's the best player on the Nets, I would say. Mikal Bridges is more of a complementary piece to a playoff team. He's one of the primary 3-and-D guys in the league. One of the better defenders on the wing in the league. Cam Johnson is a good shooter. But then again, he's like 26 already. And he's just off his rookie deal. And then Jay Crowder, of course. I mean, who knows about Jay Crowder at this point. But if you really think about it, the Nets didn't really get a whole lot for Kevin Durant. They didn't get a lot for Kyrie either. You look at going even back to the James Harden trade, when they got Ben Simmons, where at that point looked really good, but now, I mean, you guys know what Ben Simmons is now. I mean, he's averaging, 7 points this season? Right now, if you look at the Nets, you look at the past few years, you look at the trades they made to get rid of Harden, Kyrie, and KD, it's yeah, you got some firsts, but if you look at the players they got back, it's I mean, they're good players individually, but you put them all together on a team, it's okay, I mean, this team maybe can sneak into a playoff, or a play-in, but there's no real star on this team, there's no real all-star talent. They have a lot of complementary players just thrown onto one team. It's very weird, and, we'll stay on the Suns' perspective, we'll get to more of the Nets in a minute. But yeah, for the Suns to give up just this for Kevin Durant is kind of crazy. They did give up 4 unprotected firsts, till 2029, and by 2029, Kevin Durant might not even be the league, might not even be in the league, still at that point. But to go all in, the Suns knew they had to go all in. The Suns were trying to make a big splash throughout this whole throughout the whole trade deadline, throughout the whole season. They were trying to make a big splash. They knew that this was kind of their only point, that they could. This is their only way to win. They made it to the finals 2 years ago. Last year they won 64 games, 65 games. Got embarrassed in the second round. Chris Paul is getting older. Booker missed a big chunk of the year due to injury. DeAndre Ayton just got paid a max and hasn't been like a max player. And they knew that their championship window was slowly closing by the day. Closing. They were dropping. Injuries happened, So they knew that they had to, if they wanted to get a ring out of this, they wanted to just have anything out of this, they had to do it now. It had to be big. And they did, and it was now, and it was big. Kevin Durant. Now you look at a team with KD and Devin Booker as your top two, which is an insane top two. Buckets all over the court. And then you got Chris Paul, who now is kind of asked to do a little bit less of a role in terms of scoring the ball. Now he could just play make for everyone else. DeAndre Ayton kind of has a little bit of a load off him as well. The Suns should be considered back in the contender tier. I mean, you look at this team. You compare this team to the contenders of not even just the Western Conference, but the NBA, the Celtics, the Bucks, the Sixers, the Nuggets. Like, this team is up there with them. They are. After this trade, this team is up there with them. I mean, just look at the starting five, and it's like, wow. Just wow. And even their depth isn't horrible. It's a big thing. You got TJ Warren, who I think was a very sneaky pickup in this trade. He's coming back to Phoenix. He can go out and get you 15 to 20 if he's feeling it. Cameron Payne's been solid. Landry Shamet and Damian Lee are shooters out there on the wing. They still got Torrey Craig, who I think probably will be the starting 4. Still. Biyombo, Jock Landale have shown a little bit and they might not be done. We're talking about the bio market later. The bio market is a little bit stacked. So, who knows who else is coming to Phoenix. But yeah, the Suns. This is amazing for the Suns. This is amazing. Just when things were looking dim, the new owner came in and brought it right back to bright. And that's awesome for the Suns. Now for the Nets side of things, just a flurry of things going down the last week. Started off with the Kyrie retrade request, and then that whole, thing going on, and then the trying to flip the things you got in the Kyrie trade to go get another piece to help contend with KD, and then ultimately ending up trading KD, and now just being stuck with a bunch of role players on your team. Madness. This whole last 3-4 years from the Nets have just been madness. Going back to the day they signed Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. It's just been madness. We'll go through a little bit of the timetable. You start with signing KD and Kyrie, which is looking at it at that point, you can't really fault the Nets. I mean, you have a chance to get 2 of the greatest players in the league, 2 top 15, top 10 potentially players. You do that 100% of the time. No one can blame Brooklyn for doing that. I mean, they'll probably never get a opportunity like that again. So you have to do that move. And then giving 4 years, $40 million to DeAndre Jordan because he's their boy, and they wanted him on the team, I guess. From that point on, things got very crazy. Going into the season, knowing Kevin Durant was gonna miss a whole season because of the Achilles injury that happened the year before in the finals against the Raptors. So you come in the season already knowing Kevin Durant is missing 1 year. And your team just has to be Kyrie and the role players that Kyrie has to help this team out. The Kyrie is balling. Things are going solid. Things are going solid. And then Kyrie Irving gets hurt. Misses some time. It's just really now it's the Karis LeVert and Jared Allen show a little bit, and then the bubble happens. All that goes through. The Nets make it into the playoffs, losing the first round to Toronto. Okay. Now you're coming in next year. Supposed to be refreshed. Kevin Durant is back. That's cool. Kevin Durant's back. And then you hear the vaccination news of Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving doesn't want to take the vaccine. All this stuff happens. And so now Kyrie cannot play in New York. Kyrie can't play in New York. And now you just have Kevin Durant by himself. But as soon as you think things, it's just Kevin Durant and a bunch of dudes. Then all of a sudden, James Harden becomes unhappy in Houston. And James Harden's like, I either want to go to Philly or I want to go play with my friends over there in Brooklyn. And it's going to be one of these two places. And it happened to be Brooklyn. And so now all of a sudden, you trade away the young pieces. You trade away LeVert. You trade away Allen. You trade away picks. You've already traded D'Angelo Russell the year before, who was an all-star for you. Traded him to Golden State to get Kevin Durant, which, it's Kevin Durant. And now you have an insane big three of Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. Well, not Kyrie at this point because Kyrie can't play. But even still, you have James Harden and Kevin Durant, which is, you have three top 15. You have three top 15 players on your team. How could things go wrong, right? Season goes on. Kyrie eventually comes back. You get into the playoffs. You win the first round. And things are looking like it's going to be great. Get to the second round. You get a matchup with Milwaukee. Game 1, James Harden gets hurt a few minutes into the game. Hurts his hamstring. And he misses some games. Then a few games later, Kyrie Irving sprains his ankle, out for the rest of the series. Then James Harden comes back on one leg. And now it's Kevin Durant and a bunch of dudes. And then Kevin Durant, with a one size too big shoe, is on the line for a potential game-winning shot that sends the Nets to the conference finals. But his foot is just a little too big. If he wears a size 14 instead of 15, the Nets win the game. But it doesn't happen. They lose in the second round to the eventual champions. And then you come back next year, 2022. Kyrie's back. James Harden. Alright, we're gonna go now, right? Alright, we're gonna come in, we're gonna do this. Right? Well, injuries happen. Kyrie, KD, a few injuries happen here or there. Then all of a sudden, near the trade deadline, 2022, James Harden is looking around, and James Harden's like, you know what? I kind of don't like it here anymore. I want to go to Philly. And now you trade James Harden to Philly for Ben Simmons, who has had a back injury and was holding out. A lot of things going on in Philly. And he comes to Brooklyn now. And now you just trade away James Harden, who you just traded for not even a year ago. Well, basically a year ago. And then he says, you know what? Yeah, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to leave. I want to go to Philly. And you do it. And the trio of Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, James Harden plays 10 games together. 10 games. 10 games. Think about that. 10 games together. Insanity. Ben Simmons comes to Brooklyn. Kyrie comes back. They fight their way in to the play-in. Make it to the 7th seed. They get a matchup with Boston. And Boston absolutely wipes the floor with them. Boston sweeps them. Kevin Durant looks the worst we've ever seen Kevin Durant. And no one really can do anything else. And now you get swept out of the playoffs. And then you come into this season, 2023, thinking, alright, what's going to happen with Kyrie and KD? What happens with the whole Kyrie situation? He comes in, he accepts his player option. The next day, Kevin Durant requests a trade. Kevin Durant requests a trade, sets the world on fire. just for it to turn out that no one's getting traded. Kevin Durant does not get traded. Trade request not fulfilled. We come into the year with Kyrie, KD, and a good-looking Nets team. Starts off very rough. Starts off very, very rough. But then the light comes in, and they start to figure out how to play together. And then they move up. They move up in the standings. They're up to like a second seed. They want to go on a huge win streak. Things are looking bright in Brooklyn. And then in a game in Miami, Kevin Durant gets hurt. Hurts his leg. Out for a while, but now it's Kyrie and the rest of the guys. And things, at first, for first few games, looked a little rough. But then you come in and it's like, oh, okay. We're starting to win games. Kyrie looks like Kyrie. And Claxton is becoming a big piece of this team. We look like we can do some things. We'll go to last Friday. And Kyrie Irving says, yeah, you know what? You guys don't want to pay me what I want. And you know what? You guys are not going to pay me. I'm not going to be here. I want out. Just like that. Just like that. Kyrie Irving says, you know what? Yeah, I want out. And now, you look at it and you're like, okay, well, I guess so. So you trade him to Dallas to get Spencer Dinwiddie back. You get Dorian Finney-Smith. You get a first. You get 2 seconds. But now you're like, alright, Kyrie's gone. So that's your second star out of there. But we're still going to build this around Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, playing with a bunch of role players. Let's go get something good here. And then you talk to Matt Ishiba on the phone. And you're like, you know what? Things aren't working out. We got to trade Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant goes to Phoenix for this deal. And we fast forward to right now. And the Nets went from having 3 top 15 players at one point. Now, a year after that, we're looking at this team, and Mikal Bridges is the best player on the team. Just like that, probably the worst super team in NBA history. We're going to look back at this in 5 years and be like, oh my god. Like, in 20 years from now, the kids are going to look back at this and be like, the Nets that Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden? How did they only win one playoff series? It's going to be like a 30. There has to be a 30 for 30 on this. There has to be something. Like, something has to be going on behind the scenes where all of this happened. Like, there's more to the story. There's gotta be more to this story. And in maybe like 20 years, there's going to be a 30 for 30 that comes out about this big three in Brooklyn. And I'm going to be sitting front row with my popcorn. Because holy, man. Holy. This just... probably the worst fail of trying to put a super team together in NBA history. But, thing is, you look back, you can't really blame the Nets for trying. I mean, you have a chance to get 3 top 15 players. I mean, there's not really that many chances that come around like that often. So yeah, the Nets get a okay, whatever. The Suns get 2 thumbs up. So that took a long time. The Nets are something else. Alright, now we're gonna get into a little bit smaller trades. I guess every trade after that, and that was a small trade. We're gonna start running through these a little bit quicker. The next trade is between the Celtics and Thunder. The Thunder trade Mike Muscala to the Celtics to get back Justin Jackson, a 2023 second, and a 2029 second. Like this for the Celtics, they didn't really give up anything. And got what they needed. They wanted another center. Maybe not the type of center they really wanted. Maybe they wanted more of a big man type of center. But to get back Mike Muscala, who is a really good three-point shooter out there. And yeah, this honestly was more of an insurance move for Boston. They know other bigs. Al Horford, Rob Williams aren't the healthiest. So just having another big just in case. You know, it's Mike Muscala. I thought they were going to get maybe a bigger center, maybe like a Mason Plumlee, like a Kelly Olynyk, but Mike Muscala is fine. As long as someone that can play the center spot, they're good. And he can stretch the floor. Al Horford can stretch the floor too, but Mike Muscala is a real three-point shooter. Yeah, the Thunder get more picks, so. Yep, and Justin Jackson. Cool. Good trade from the Celtics. Thunder, good trade. Well, you get picks. Thunder love those picks, so good for them. Nuggets and Lakers made a deal. The Lakers trade Thomas Bryant to the Denver Nuggets for Devon Reed. Yeah, a 2025 second, 2026 second, and a 2029 second round pick. Came as a little surprise. Thomas Bryant was having a great season with the Lakers. But apparently things came out about how he wasn't really happy there. A lot of stuff going on. He didn't want to be in LA. And he was going to be a free agent after this year. He was going to have to get paid. So Lakers thought, we're not going to pay him, so let's just trade him off. And what a get from the Nuggets. A lot of talk about the Nuggets getting backup centers. Naz Reid was a name in there. But for the Nuggets to be able to get Thomas Bryant for like nothing, pretty much. I mean, Devon Reed didn't even play in 3 seconds. Yeah. But for the Nuggets to be able to get a guy like Thomas Bryant for nothing, a big win for the Nuggets. Big win for the Nuggets. I mean, Thomas Bryant's a very good big. He do, he's going to give a lot of heart, hustle. He's small, but he's going to get rebounds. He's going to get athletic, energy dunks. He can hit threes. Just another good backup big for the Nuggets. So they don't have to play DeAndre Jordan a lot. It's good for the Nuggets. For the Lakers, I guess, they got some more second round picks that they flip. So, I guess that's good for them. Next was a 3-team trade involving Portland, Charlotte, and Philly. The trade was the Portland Trailblazers got Matisse Thybulle from the Sixers. The Hornets got Svi Mykhailiuk and a 2023 second round pick from Philly. And the 76ers got Jalen McDaniels, a 2024 second via New York that they got from Portland, and a 2029 second from Portland. I like this trade for Philly. There's a lot of talk about Matisse Thybulle getting traded in the past few days. A lot of teams like the Warriors, the Kings were interested in him, and the Blazers got him, I guess, which is kind of weird for Portland. I don't know what Portland was very weird this trade deadline. Portland was very, very weird. I don't know what the value they have in Matisse Thybulle is. I guess because their backcourt is really small, they wanted another dude that can, since their backcourt is all offense, they want a dude that's all defense. I guess. I mean, sure, for Portland. But I like this for the Sixers. The Sixers get a guy in Jalen McDaniels. I don't think they really have other team that are valuable. A wing, a 6'8", 6'9" wing player that is still kind of young. He's like 25, 26. He can do a little bit of everything. He can hit the 3 ball. He can get his own if he needs to. He plays good defense. He's long, athletic. I really like this for Philly, and I think he's going to be a very, a dude that's very under the radar, that goes under the radar on this. But when he makes a little bit of an impact in Philly, people are going to be like, oh, wow, this McDaniels dude is pretty solid, pretty good. I'm a fan of McDaniels. I'm a fan of both of the McDaniels, because his brother plays in Minnesota, and he's really good. Yeah, I like this for Philly. Giving up a Thybulle who it was kind of played out in Philly. His role was decreasing more and more. And so they got a player that they can actually use a lot. I think McDaniel's going to be a very solid pickup for Philly. The Hornets, there's a lot of talk about them trading McDaniels. I didn't think they were actually going to do it. But they actually did it. And they just get back a second round pick for him, basically. So yeah, great trade from the Sixers side. I think a trade that, doesn't look like much, but I think it can help. The next was another 3-team deal. It was Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder got traded from Phoenix to Brooklyn, and then a few hours later went from Brooklyn to Milwaukee, where he finally got to Milwaukee. After all this, there's an offer that came out a few weeks ago. The Bucks were offering a package of George Hill, Serge Ibaka, Jordan Wall, and some seconds to the Suns. The Suns said no, but the trade basically happened anyway. Because the Nets were like, we'll take that package, and we'll even give a third team all those dudes that we don't want. So the trade was the Bucks getting Jay Crowder, the Nets get 2 second-round picks, and the Pacers get George Hill, Serge Ibaka, Jordan Wall, and 3 second-round picks. Also in this deal, the Pacers are waiving Goga Bitadze, and they're buying out Serge Ibaka. For the Bucks, they finally get their guy. The Bucks been wanting a guy like this. Ever since they won a ring with PJ Tucker, they didn't really have anyone to replace what he brought last year, and now they get that finally with Jay Crowder. They've been talking about the whole year. Them and the Heat were very tied to Jay Crowder. Man, this is good for the Bucks. The Bucks have a good team, but I feel like they don't have a player like Jay Crowder. They don't have a big wing that can play defense. They have a lot of guards that play like wings. Like Pat Connaughton plays like a small forward, power forward, even though he's like 6'4". Bucks are kind of small when it comes to like their depth. But now they finally have another wing that can go out there and switch out in multiple different positions and hit some threes when they need him to. I think this is a very, very good trade for the Bucks. For the Nets, you kind of knew they were flipping off Jay Crowder. Trying to flip him for something, and they got back some second-round picks for him, which is cool. Then the Pacers are just there really to take all the money. They took on George Hill's contract. They're buying out Serge Ibaka, but they also got 3 second-round picks. And they got another young player in Joe Nwora that they could give a chance to, who I think can be a very solid player. So, yeah. Great trade from the Bucks' perspective. I think they won this trade. They got the player they wanted. Took an extra route to get him, but they got him. The next trade we're going to talk about, another small one. The Suns again. Suns traded Dario Saric and a second-round pick to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Darius Bazley. I like this from the Suns' perspective of the trade. They take Darius Bazley, who is a very solid young player, shown a little bit, but just it was kind of time for him to get traded. He was kind of losing a lot of his minutes this season. Didn't play as much as he did the last few years, and they have a lot of dudes in kind of his same spot, like a Kenrich Williams, like Aaron Wiggins, Chet Holmgren will be coming back, Pokusevski. There's a lot of players. The Thunder have a lot of young players in general. And so it's kind of tough for everyone to get minutes, and Darius Bazley was kind of the odd one out when it came to minutes. So I'm glad that they actually traded him. To let him kind of spread his wings. He can go to Phoenix and actually play a role in Phoenix. He can be a guy, kind of like a do-it-all Swiss Army knife forward. Could play either forward position, can hit threes, can get to the rim himself, can make passes, play some solid defense. Kind of a Swiss Army knife. I like that for the Suns. And the Thunder really get back another pick. Dario Saric isn't really going to play for them, probably. Thunder get another pick. Thunder got 3 second-round picks at the trade deadline. So, Thunder just being the Thunder. Yeah, the next trade. A trade between the Clippers and the Nuggets. It was the Nuggets trading Bones Highland to the LA Clippers for a 2024 and 2025 second-round pick. The Clippers, wow. They made out. They stole Bones Highland from Denver, honestly. They stole him. I mean, we knew the Nuggets were trading Bones Highland. It came out a while ago that he was in talks. And this wasn't because he was playing bad or anything like that or any locker room issues. It was really more of a future move for them. They already have Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, and Nikola Jokic on max contracts. They got guys like Bruce Brown, just to name one, that are going to have to get paid very soon. Now, by the time Bones Highland was going to get paid, they knew they weren't going to have enough money to give him what he wanted. So they're like, you know what, while he's at his value now, let's get something for him now. But to be honest, a little bit disappointed in the Nuggets for this Bones Highland trade, because getting back 2 seconds from the Clippers, that's it for Bones Highland. Again, we don't know what other trades were presented. Maybe there were not many offers out there. But really, to only get 2 seconds for Bones is a little bit disappointing from the Nuggets side. For the Clippers side, you stole him. You stole him. He's a guy that can come off the bench and be explosive. Guy that can come off the bench. He's super fun. I love Bones Highland. He's always got a smile on. He's really fun to watch. He plays like he's on the the blacktop. A lot of energy, a lot of flashiness. Hits some nice step back threes. Makes some solid flashy passes. Gets to the rim, make a nice finish. Just brings energy and scoring. Scoring guard off the bench that the Clippers really need. Because their guards that were supposed to do that weren't doing that. So they got Bones Highland. That's a really nice pickup from the Clippers. The Clippers got a steal of a trade for the Clippers for what I think. I think, yeah, he's gonna be great, and they're gonna love him over there. I know if I was a Nuggets fan, I'd be very, very sad about this, but teams gotta do what they gotta do. The next one was a pretty small trade. The Hawks trading Justin Holiday, Frank Kaminsky to the Rockets for Garrison Matthews and Bruno Fernando. Okay, cool. This trade really doesn't matter. None of these guys are really going to play. I mean, the only one that can see playing is maybe Garrison Matthews for the Hawks because he's a shooter, and the Hawks are one of the worst three-point shooting teams. So maybe Garrison Matthews gets some run, and Bruno Fernando goes back to the team that drafted him. But yeah, for the Rockets, whatever. I guess maybe Justin Holiday gets bought out, and Justin Holiday can be a candidate on the buyout market. But this trade really just didn't matter. But the next trade did. This was a trade that actually was a 3-team trade, but it really turned into a 4-team trade because a lot of these things were flipped around for each other. So basically, the Hawks, Pistons, Warriors, and Blazers were in on this. So it was the Atlanta Hawks getting Saddiq Bey from the Pistons, the Pistons getting James Wiseman from the Warriors get Gary Payne II back from Portland, and the Blazers get Kevin Knox and 5 second-round picks from Atlanta and Golden State. What a trade. This is a trade that was slowly like one side was reported, then another side came out. Then 2 minutes later, another side came out. It's like one of those. But yeah, for the Hawks, I don't know how they walked out with Saddiq Bey. I really don't know how they just gave up some seconds for Saddiq Bey. But wow, I was really thinking there's a lot of talk about Saddiq Bey getting traded, but I believe that Saddiq Bey was not going to get traded, and this was just kind of weird. But it actually happened. The Atlanta Hawks got Saddiq Bey, which is a great pickup from Atlanta. They already have DeAndre Hunter, and now Saddiq Bey gotta be the same role as him, a 3-and-D wing. That can give you some scoring, give you some good defense, 3-point shooting. Yeah, this is a great trade for Atlanta. I'm guessing Saddiq Bey comes off the bench now, because they already got DeAndre Hunter in there, and John Collins, and Clint Capella. Unless you're moving John Collins to the bench, but then again, you want Hunter and Bey out there at the same time. My guess, Saddiq Bey comes off the bench, which is great for Atlanta. So now they have Bogdanovich on Kongwu, and Saddiq Bey coming off the bench. I like that. I like that for Atlanta. They needed something, because Atlanta was kind of just being mid. And so Atlanta somehow walks out here with Saddiq Bey. An amazing pickup. The Pistons get James Wiseman. To be honest with you, I don't like this a lot from the Pistons side. I kind of don't, you know. They traded away Saddiq Bey, which is fine, I guess. Still a little confusing to me. But then to get back James Wiseman, when you already have Jalen Duren, you have Isaiah Stewart, and then you might have a chance to get Victor Wembanyama, and now you have James Wiseman, and you also have Marvin Bagley. Just a lot of bigs in there that can't all really play. They all can't play together. So I guess I understand they want to take a chance on James Wiseman. And I'm really glad the Warriors did trade him, because it was time. They needed to get rid of him, and they were shopping him and Moses Moody. But really, to get for the Pistons to get James Wiseman, I would have liked if it was like Charlotte or something like that, a team that didn't really have a center. That was just kind of like, all right, sure. But for the Pistons, who already have Duren, who has been very good, Isaiah Stewart, who's kind of turned into a power forward because of Jalen Duren. You have Marvin Bagley, who probably doesn't matter that much. He's always on the injured list. And then having a chance to get Victor, which then again is a chance. It's not definite anything. Then to get James Wiseman in there, it's just a little weird for me. A little weird. I don't like it a lot for the Pistons, especially they only got James Wiseman and didn't get any picks back or anything. For the Warriors side, they got a guy that's familiar with the system, Gary Payton II. He comes back. It's funny. He literally played probably like 10 games with Portland because he missed a lot of the first part of the season due to a core injury. He played like 10 games and then was like, okay, you're going back to Golden State. He's probably like, okay, sure, thanks guys. Thanks for letting me get some practice in with you guys. It's basically like he got sent to the G League. Sent him down to the G League, got him a little bit of practice, and now he's coming back up to the real team. That's basically what happened. Went to Portland, was injured, came back for a few games, went back to Golden State. I like that for Golden State. And the Blazers, again, just very weird. I mean, they did get 5 second-round picks in this deal, so I guess it's not that bad. But I don't know. The Blazers, I don't know what direction they're going in this trade deadline. Are they selling or are they buying? Because they trade Josh Hart, and then they get Cam Reddish, but then they get Matisse Thybulle. And then they get Kevin, and then they get second-round picks. And then they trade Gary Payton. It's super weird. I don't know what's going on in Portland. I don't know if they're just trying to do stuff just to do stuff, or they have a big move, chess move that they're planning. I really don't know. But it's super weird, and I don't know what's going on. The next one was another 3-teamer. It was between the Clippers, Rockets, and Grizzlies. This trade, the Clippers got Eric Gordon and 3 second-round picks. The Houston Rockets got John Wall, Danny Green, and a first-round pick swap. And the Grizzlies got Luke Kennard. Finally, Eric Gordon is gone. Can we get an applause for that? Eric Gordon is no longer a Rocket. It should have happened like 10 years ago. Finally happens. He's going back to LA with the Clippers. Which is really nice for the Clippers, especially only having to give up Luke Kennard, and really that's it, Luke Kennard, to get Eric Gordon. Very good. The Clippers had a good deadline. We're going to talk about more of that later. But yeah, the Clippers getting Eric Gordon is nice. Some more scoring off the bench. They also get some seconds. The Rockets getting John Wall and Danny Green, who I assume both of them are getting bought out. That's super hilarious. John Wall somehow found his way back to Houston after all that's gone down between him and Houston. He's getting bought out. Immediately came out after. Yeah, he's getting bought out. No way. He's probably didn't even take a flight to Houston. He was like, I'm staying here in LA because I know I'm not going back over there. And then Danny Green, which is funny because he literally just came back from injury and probably played like 3 games and then got traded. But he's probably going to be on the buy market. And then the Grizzlies get Luke Kennard. Grizzlies get a shooter, which is the Grizzlies sneakily made out in this deal. Giving up Danny Green, a guy who really hasn't played all year. Then you got a sharpshooter in Luke Kennard. That dude is a sniper. He's a sniper. So that's big for the Memphis Grizzlies. Love this trade for the Grizzlies. Good trade from the Clippers. The Rockets. It's only a good trade for the Rockets because they got rid of Eric Gordon. But they brought back 2 other old guys that aren't going to be on the team. Yeah, the Rockets are really the team this deadline that just took on all the old players that didn't matter and just going to buy all of them out. They got Wall, Danny Green, Justin Holiday. Just give us all the old players and we'll buy them out. It's okay. The next trade involved the Clippers again. The Clippers and Hornets made a 1-for-1 swap. The Clippers traded Reggie Jackson to the Hornets for Mason Plumlee. For the Clippers, they've been wanting a backup big for Zubac. They wanted a more athletic big man that they can play a lot more minutes because Zubac is good. But, for teams that go a little bit smaller, they wanted another athletic center. And they kind of got that with Mason Plumlee. I was expecting a little bit of a smaller center, like a Naz Reid, Thomas Bryant type of dude. But Mason Plumlee fits. Mason Plumlee has been very good for the Hornets. Mason Plumlee's a good player. He is athletic, dunk. He can pass the ball well. He rebounds. I think he's going to be a very good addition for the Clipper team. And I won't be surprised if he takes a starting spot maybe at some point for some series when we get to the playoffs over Zubac. Even though Zubac, again, he's really good. He's probably one of the more underrated players in the league. But it's just, you can't really play him for long stretches of time. The Clippers don't really do that. So they finally get a big man that can back him up. And the Hornets get Reggie Jackson, who they said they're going to buy out. Yeah, there's more of a, here, take this dude, we'll take him, we'll buy him out. We just don't want Mason Plumlee. Open up more minutes for guys like Mark Williams and Nick Richards. And them. So yeah, another great trade from the Clippers. The next trade involved the LA Lakers as well. Alright, so the trade is the Lakers trading Patrick Beverley, 2024 second, in cash to the Orlando Magic for Mo Bamba. It was reported a few days ago that the Magic were working to try to trade Mo Bamba just because he lost minutes, really. He lost his role. You got guys like Wendell Carter, Bobo, Paulo. They're all kind of there. And Mo Bamba's kind of the odd man out. And so they're working to try to trade him after just re-signing him this summer, which I didn't like that much, but they did it anyway. And Mo Bamba's finally out of Orlando. I feel like he's been talking about forever. Mo Bamba getting traded or leaving, and now he's finally out of there. And he's going to LA. That's another solid trade for the Lakers. Lakers give up Thomas Bryant, but they get back Mo Bamba. Mo Bamba kind of turned into a 3D center in a way. Block shots, super long wingspan, can block shots, can hit threes. I think he could be a very, very sneaky good player for the Lakers. The Lakers really just kind of revamped this whole team in the last 2 days. Not even 2 days. They've kind of just revamped this entire team. Trading away a lot of bad contracts, second round picks to get quality players. And yeah, shout out to Rob Pelinka. For the Magic side, again, makes sense. They wanted to get rid of Mo Bamba. They got back a second. They got some cash, and they already told Patrick Beverley, you don't need to come to Orlando. Don't even book the flight. You're not even gonna come here. We're gonna buy you out. You're good. You can just stay over there. You don't need to come. You don't need to book the flight. Yeah, just Magic getting off one of their players. And yeah, the last trade of the deadline, the last trade was between the Pelicans and Spurs. It was the Spurs trading Josh Richardson to New Orleans for Devontae Graham and 4 second-round picks. Second-round picks were flying all over the place. I don't know what happened. If teams were just like, let's just trade all of our seconds. But second-round picks were flying everywhere. I feel like every team got at least 2, 3, 4 seconds for players. But yeah, it was a very underrated trade. Kind of happened in the last second. Pelicans get a very solid role player in Josh Richardson, who's having a very solid year in San Antonio. He's a wing that can also play the 2 guard, can handle the ball a little bit, can hit the 3, can score, good defender. Yeah, it's a very good thing for the Pelicans, who didn't really give up much. I mean, Devontae Graham is kind of losing his role anyway, because guys like Jose Alvarado and Dyson Daniels are playing well. So the Spurs just get picks, really. And then they get Devontae Graham, who I think probably will maybe play in San Antonio. I don't know. Well, he has like a little bit of a contract left, so I guess the Spurs probably will keep him around. Again, the Spurs only have like 1 point guard on their team. Yeah, really good move from the Pelicans. I like this move. Underrated move. I think Josh Richardson is going to be very good. They already have a lot of good role players on their team, and Josh Richardson just adds to the fire. Yeah, those are all the trades. A lot of trades, man. This was such a wild deadline. And there's still a lot of stuff that did happen, that I was expecting to happen. Guys I'm a little disappointed didn't trade. The Raptors, none of those guys got traded. I was for sure, I could have put 1,000 on Fred VanVleet getting traded. He doesn't go anywhere. Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel don't go anywhere as well from Detroit. And Bogdanovich, but Bogdanovich was kind of, the last few days you kind of see, okay, maybe he's not getting traded. Those guys, none of the Bulls players, not even the big 3, but again, Alex Caruso and John Collins. Even though I knew he wasn't getting traded, but even still, where they don't really want him. Terrence Ross from the Magic doesn't get traded again at the deadline. Just looking around at some teams like Robinson. We kind of knew that wasn't happening. We knew that wasn't happening. No one from the Wizards gets traded. Kuzma doesn't go anywhere. The Hornets, I'm super disappointed in the Hornets. We're going to talk a little bit more about the Hornets, but super disappointed in them. Naz Reid from Minnesota doesn't get traded anywhere. Tim Hardaway stays in Dallas. Yeah, the Jazz, Jordan Clarkson doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, there's just a few guys that I thought was going to get traded but didn't. But the next one, we're talking about the winners and losers of the trade deadline. Winners and losers of the NBA trade deadline. I've picked 3 winners, 3 losers. We're starting off with the 3 winners. My first winner has got to be the Phoenix Suns. Again, I mean, to give up some solid role players, of course, but nothing too major. And you get Kevin Durant. You get TJ Warren, who's a sneaky ad. Darius Baisley as well could be very solid. The Suns got to be a winner. And the Suns moved out from a team that probably be in the play-in and no one takes seriously to a title contender, just like that. So the Suns obviously have to be a winner. The Clippers are my second winner. Clippers really didn't give up much. They gave up guys that they wanted to give up. John Wall, who they're expecting there. If they didn't trade him, they were going to buy him out. Reggie Jackson, who's been very disappointing this season. Luke Kennard, who they've been trying to trade. And then some seconds. And to get back, Bones Highland, Eric Gordon, Mason Plumlee, three guys of the mold that they kind of wanted to get. Huge win for the Clippers, who really needed to make some moves around their depth. And then number 3, the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers turned Russell Westbrook, Patrick Beverley, and a first-round pick into D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, and Mo Bamba. 4 very solid quality players that can help their team, and they should be able to get a boost. They should be getting a boost. And reinforcements ready to make this play-in run. Rob Pelinka did his job. Rob Pelinka got LeBron and AD, the players they needed to help complement them. Now let's see what they do. Very excited to see this Laker team after the deadline. And those are my 3 winners. Funny, all in the West, and the 3 teams who I think lost the trade deadline. Number 1, the Miami Heat. Didn't make any moves. There's a lot of talk about Kyle Lowry. I was for sure thought he was going to be gone. Kyle Lowry doesn't get traded. Duncan Robinson's still on their contract. They didn't really make any moves. Maybe they're going to wait till the buyout market to make the moves, I'm assuming. But, yeah, they kind of lost. They kind of lost because they didn't get rid of Kyle Lowry. They didn't get anybody to take Kyle Lowry on. That's a loss for me. The Bulls on the next team, they're losers for me. Not making any. I think if they would have made 1 or 2 moves, I would have not put them on here. But because they didn't make any moves and kept this team the same, it was really disappointing. No Caruso, Andre Drummond move. There were talks about maybe a Zach LaVine Knicks trade. Then nothing came out of. No, not even like Kobe White. Just no moves. They just stayed packed. And now we gotta wait till the offseason to see what they're gonna do. And then my last one, the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets not trading Terry Rozier, Kelly Oubre, or Gordon Hayward, at least one of them. Honestly, really did. I was just mad more than anything. Especially Kelly Oubre. How did they not trade Kelly Oubre? I mean, so many teams would want Kelly Oubre. I don't know. Do people forget about him because he's hurt? Like, I don't know. The Hornets lost just because of that, in my opinion. It's funny, the winners were all West, the losers were all East. The Western Conference just got a lot crazier. A whole lot crazier, and I'm here for it. The final thing, talking about the buyout market. The trade deadline is over, and the buyout market is here. Looks like a lot of veterans are going to get bought out. And a lot of veterans that can really contribute to teams. Just listing some of the guys, we got Russell Westbrook, John Wall, Reggie Jackson, Dwayne Dedmon, Serge Ibaka, Will Barton, potentially Danny Green, and the list, probably a few more guys I'm forgetting. This buyout market is going to be crazy. There's going to be a lot of teams interested. A lot of these dudes. It's already came out. The Suns are looking at maybe Reggie Jackson. The Clippers and Bulls are interested in Russell Westbrook. There's a lot of players on here that think that are gonna make big impacts on their new team. You know, I'm really ready to see it. The buyout market. I think teams that are gonna be very heavy in the buyout market are really looking around and aggressive. Gotta be Miami. Miami's gotta make something. I think Miami's gonna be interested in the buyout market. The Clippers, the Suns, maybe even the Warriors. I think maybe can make a sneaky move in there and get into the buyout market. Maybe the Bucks, the Sixers, because they kind of made salary clearing moves. The Bucks have some roster spots as well, giving up 3 players for Jay Crowder. So the Bucks might have another room for another guy. A lot more of the veteran teams. I think a lot more of the veteran teams that have a lot of older players and a lot of experience are more buyout teams. Like teams like the Cavs or the Grizzlies or the Nuggets. I'm not really expecting much from the buyout market because they're kind of set and good with what they got. But I feel like a lot of veteran teams really like using the buyout market. Like when you think of the buyout market the last few years, a lot of the players that went in the buyout market are all to like teams with a lot of vets and teams that have been here before with experience. I've seen. But yeah, what a day. What a day it was in the NBA, man. Gotta love it. You got to love it. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see y'all later.